How you gentlemen doing?
Doing okay.
Good. Fucking
Doing okay.
that southern hospitality and shit. He just comes in and he stays quiet.
I'm gonna wait to be invited in.
This has devolved. I mean, when I was driving down the road on the way to my destination, on the way back, you were calling Andy a narc and just like going off on him, and now you guys.
That's what happens when they smoke pot together before they start fighting.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude. You know how it is, man. I'm sure I don't know much about you, Ralph, and that's not a slight. You know, you can't fucking keep up with everybody on the goddamn internet. But I'm sure you blow up, and then it's like after you fuck. You know what I mean? After you blow up for a few minutes, you want to fucking kick back and smoke a cigarette and bask in the afterglow for a few minutes. And
I'm gonna be honest, I have never seen but maybe like 15 minutes of the Drunken Peasants. So like I don't really know you either.
Yeah,
but,
it's definitely.
I mean, that's no slight. It just wasn't my
untaken.
I did see the Malo part though. That's the 15 minutes I saw.
Well, everybody saw that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just came on. You said something earlier about my argument with Baked Alaska,
right? You want me to? You heard what I said? So do you want me to kind of elucidate it more? Or do you want?
Yeah. I mean, if you could shine a little more light on it, as you see it from your point of view.
Sure. And understand my point of view is as kind of like a drive-by observer of the big kind of boil over of Baked Alaska drama, right?
Right.
And I watched one whole show. Where you went at him. I mean, everybody fucking went at him. It was a slaughterhouse. I mean, he was getting bent over the fucking counter and just railed over and over again. And he didn't even know it. Or if he did, he just thought doubling down was going to save him. And all of you were getting your licks in. You were, dude. I heard you fucking shit on him a few times. And it's just like, man, dude, these guys know how to give a stomp. And I was telling Andy earlier, there was only 2 people in that whole fucking event that I think lost points to Baked Alaska, and both of them for the same reason, because they for a moment stooped to the level of a fraudulent mask wearing perpetrating bitch boy like Baked Alaska. And I talked about Andy, we won't rehash that. He and I had it out about that, and I'm whatever. But with the other person that in my opinion lost a point was you, because there was about a 10-minute section. Maybe I'm overstating that. I probably am. But a good section where you literally legit had an argument, and it kind of popped up several more times over the course of the stream too, about which one of you got more pussy. Now, maybe I misunderstand blood sports and shit. I will admit I'm new to the fucking thing. I'm a new fan or whatever. But dude, 2 dudes who probably don't get a whole alarming amount of pussy, and that's no slight, neither do I, arguing about which one of them is slaying more puss is one of the most fucking unwatchably bad arguments that everybody's heard if they've been around a couple of fucking chest thumping drunks in a bar or anywhere. Like anybody that's ever been to a bar has heard that fucking dumb argument. And Baked started it, but you did what Andy did, and you followed him into your own grave and sat there like, I get more pussy, dude. You don't even know. And I'm just like, no, neither one of you is slaying too much pussy.
Well, first off, let me say this. I will say that Baked started the line of questioning. I was kind of I was making fun of him because he got cucked on stream like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times just this calendar year, maybe even just this month. So that was kind of me making fun of him. I've had a lot of bad moments on air myself, but I can honestly say that I've never gotten cucked on stream, much less cucked repeatedly.
Few people have to that level. I mean, that was one of the most beautiful stompings over the course of a week or 2 that I've ever seen of a human being on the internet. I mean,
yeah, it was bad. So that was kind of me responding to him, and I think that's. I mean, I'll defend Andy a little bit on what he did as well, because you have this guy, and you're arguing on the internet, right? That's fine. But all of a sudden, and thousands of people are watching at this time. All of a sudden, he brings up personal drug use and just completely out of nowhere. I mean, I have to expect that Andy didn't see that coming at all.
Well, he didn't handle it very well either.
Well, I mean, maybe not. Even but that's another thing. He says, like I was saying earlier in the chat, like he admitted it was he made a mistake. He apologized basically. So what else can be said? And also, yeah, the chat's point out I'm actually married, so yeah, that's.
Yeah, I remember that. That was all. Yeah. That was part of it. You know,
that
what
was
I mean?
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, you got a fat bitch Indian wife. You know what I mean? It's just like
that was his great talking point. Yeah.
Whatever, dude. They just played a fucking video of you sitting next to a chick that has you friend zoned harder than I've ever seen somebody be friend zoned, letting her run your show. Like, the dude's married. He's at least getting pussy on the regular. He's not begging somebody for it that never intends to give it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what he's fucking. I don't know. Yeah. Like, not just like your wife. I've never seen her. I don't care if she's a big fucking sea cow, dude. At least you're getting, like, you know what I mean?
I'll just say that, yeah, his stuff, I don't know. And it's not just with Aaron, that crazy slut that he pretty much let bring him down. That's kind of what started all this.
Is that I don't mean to rehash it, and I don't want to get totally, but is that really what did it to him? That's what started the dominoes?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he was sitting there with her, and they were like, I guess, all kind of snotty and smarmy at the chat, and like, we don't need these toxic people around our community, and so yeah, that's pretty much what started it. Was his behavior. I don't know if he was trying to show out for her or what.
Oh, he was, dude. Let me tell you, dude. As a casual observer, he was hoping and praying that drunk stream led to a fucking, you know, one of those moments in the movies where they lock eyes and
just all of a sudden
and they both go for the kiss at the same time, dude. You could see the desire for that in his eyes throughout that whole. He thought that's what was going to happen that night. And, you know, I don't know when the cameras went off, maybe it did, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that it didn't.
I'm gonna say it didn't. Yeah, and I mean,
and meanwhile, you after that show, you probably, you know, went to bed and porked your wife. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, the argument that you didn't really. It's not like you lost, because honestly, there's no way to lose in that. And that's kind of my point. It's like the only way you can lose points against somebody that's cucked that hard publicly is to stoop to their level and go, no, dude, I get more pussy. It's like, just tell him, fuck you, dude. Fuck
yeah,
you.
I mean, I understand that. I understand that argument. But, I mean, when you're in the heat of the moment, you know all these people are watching. This guy's going low. That was kind of my defense of Andy earlier. I mean, I understand that, you know, he shouldn't have went there. But that other guy was going there. You know what I mean? He had already taken it to that level. So I certainly understand the inclination to get down in the dirt with him. You know what I mean? And even so, he didn't reveal, you know, it was kind of just, you know, what about this and this, kind of, you know, threatening him or whatever.
Since I've got you guys all here, and I don't want to rehash the whole thing, I wouldn't do that because I know you guys are probably done with this shit, but a perspective on it that I wonder now that, you know, since you guys are all in one place, the Baked Alaska shit. All right. I agree with you guys on your criticisms of him. You know, you've said that he's unentertaining, he's fraudulent, he's fake, he's a shitty persona. I agree with all of that. The problem, the only difference between me and you guys is that I knew that as soon as I became aware of Baked Alaska. I knew that
when I became aware of him too. I didn't know about him until about 10 minutes before I went on to Warski and talked to him, and that was when I told him that I thought that he was fake as fuck.
The first time I became aware of Baked Alaska was when I was still on the Drunken Peasants, and when I was part of that show, everybody who's part of that show gets barraged constantly with people going, bring this person on, have this guest, have that guest. And for like a solid 2 weeks, every day it was like, have Baked Alaska, man, have Baked Alaska. And finally, you know, you get enough of those, you go check it out. You're like, maybe this guy would work for the show. I watched about 20 minutes of the content that was on his channel, and I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. This guy he's false. Like, just the stink of manufactured, practiced insincerity was so thick on him that I was like, there's no way I would even put him forward as an option to come on a show. And I'm not as a slight to you guys, but I'm wondering if I saw that then when he was at kind of the peak of his popularity in you guys' little group, why didn't you guys see it until a week or two ago?
Because I didn't even know of Baked Alaska. The first time I heard of him was during the Kilroy shit, and he was the first person who promoted it and then was thrown off. And that's what made me like, well, what the fuck is this? And start like looking into all the people that were kicked off after promoting the event. So we started talking. He was cool when we talked a few times. And then that was about the time, December, January, where he jumped in. He Skyped me and was like, "Yo, Andy, I'm really inspired by those like internet blood sports and debating and stuff. So I just want to like see if it's cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, man. Like, don't worry about it. Like, that's cool." And then he set up some really good shows. Tariq Nasheed versus Jared Taylor, fucking like a lot of awesome shows. So I didn't know of Baked Alaska before that moment. I only knew him from November.
Right.
So like from what I saw, like there was like, you know, I did see him like always worry about what people thought. So if he got one bad comment, he would start being like, "Oh, what does this mean?" And I would have to talk him like, "Yo, don't worry about it. It's just one guy, whatever." Like, I mean, if it's criticism, take it and whatever. And so that's all I saw. And I was trying to help him get better because he would Skype me, "Oh, how do I set up a better show or whatever? Or how do I, do this? How do I do that?" And I would just help him. Right. So when I saw the whole IRL stuff and that like sort of meltdown he had on a live with Aaron and stuff, I was like, oh boy. So I spoke up, and then that's what angered him. Cause we did. And I was stuttering a lot there. I know today, Junior, I understand. Everyone has one stutter joke you could bust out right now. Make fun of me. Yeah. So I'm not sure. How about you, Tonka? When did you know?
As soon as somebody told me about its history, I was just guilty of not giving that much of a shit about him. And as soon as somebody told me about, well, you know, he used to do this and then this and then this and then this, and now that this is a thing, he's doing this, I was like, okay, well, he's fake as fuck. That's what I told him that night. And I told him, go ahead, try to prove me wrong. I'd love for you to prove me wrong. Within 24 hours. By the next morning, he already fucked it up.
I've known Baked Alaska. Oh, go ahead, Failure.
I only knew him as the Pepsi alt-right fucking guy going to the things and whatever. When he showed up in the internet bloodsport stuff, I saw that he had some good bookings, and I said the Tariq one. Okay, that's a good one. Did I watch it? Nah, I didn't watch it. I went on one of his streams in the middle of the night where he had like nothing going on, and it was just awkward. It was just me and him on Discord, and that's pretty much the most of our interactions. Besides him coming on the Kumite, I think like 2 times.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just wasn't that familiar with the dude.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to change the subject here, but I had a question for Ralph.
Okay.
Before you came in here, Andy cut a fucking promo on you, dude. He said, "Oh man, dude, Ralph's raging. He's ready to fuck you. There will be blood." And you came, and then you kind of came in here. It's been pretty soft, bro.
Ralph, no. Dude, I was like, Ralph in the chat is calling you a faggot, but you weren't in the chat.
Dude,
I was just trying to anger you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
was playing around. I'm just making sure.
I mean, when I came in, it was all, hugs and smiles. So like, I don't.
Yeah, you're right. You did walk into a fucking faggot.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? I guess I could just start some shit up out of nowhere, but I mean, it's not really my thing. Damn, somebody's driving their motorcycle down the street. But yeah, I just want to say something real quick about Baked Alaska. I've known like Baked Alaska for a while, not personally like talking to him every day, but I've known what he was doing, what he was up to for years. So basically, he used to work for BuzzFeed, and then he got close with Malo Yiannopoulos, and I was kind of in Malo's orbit and stuff. I was close to him when he went on the Peasants show the first time, and that sort of thing. So I knew of Baked Alaska, and yeah, he was pretty much a phony the whole time. But the thing is, like, I'm not just gonna attack him, even though I know this dude's a fake, right? So, other people like him, other people in the same circles like me. I mean, like him. So, like, what are you gonna do? Like, I guess
that's never a good idea, though, dude.
I mean, I agree with you, but come on, there's some people
You can't put your arm around a fraud and then when he reveals himself to be a fraud, be like, "Oh, you were always." But
I wouldn't say I didn't put my arm around him. So the only dealings I had with him on a personal level was he had made this app for, I don't know, something to do with Trump. So he was riding the Trump wave or whatever, and Apple wouldn't let him put it on the App Store. So I did like a little short interview on my channel with him. Didn't really get much attention off of it, but so that was the only personal dealings I'd ever had with him. And, he was fairly cool and everything, on a personal level. I didn't have any problems with him, except one time I was writing an article about him. He had gotten a fight with Cernovich and Malo, because there was still some bad blood there over the Deplorball. He was originally supposed to go be one of the main guests, and he went on Twitter and started, talking about the Jewish question every day and stuff like that. So they said, well, it's not really a good look for us to have you there. So anyway, he got in a big tiff about that. And I wrote this article and I put his name in it because he had been, his name had been put out in BuzzFeed and other publications. And so I just used his name. He's just like, Ralph, what's this, man? You trying to attack me? What is this? Are you doxing me? It's like, dude, it's the same name that was in a BuzzFeed article you were quoted in. So like, what's the different standard here? And he's just like, well, yeah, that's BuzzFeed. And so he kind of got all bitchy about that. I guess that was my first like serious red flag that this dude's kind of a punk. But I just kind of let it slide or whatever. So